This is a PowerWorks podcast short with Glenn Power and me, James Pikeway.
His other thing that he loves, and I think he's become a lazy driver, but he is a grandpa, right? So, is he is absolutely smitten, enamored and smitten.
We're going all out.
We're going all out with lane assist.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
It's like, what?
Once you've had it, and obviously, I mean,
Yeah.
the road that Joey's on in the videos he sends, it looks like it's 4,000 miles straight in one direction.
Pretty much, it's a toll road. It just drives. There's no one on it.
And you will soon get used to having it.
Yeah.
And I've driven a few cars for extended periods with it, and with the adaptive cruise control and everything else, where it'll slow down to the car in front, even to a stop, and then go with them, and even round roundabouts and things. And it's very, very easy to get used to.
Yeah. So this is a must for him now. Lane assist. If no lane assist, no go on that vehicle.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, it's amazing how quick we get rid of all these, skills of keeping centered in your lane.
Well, it's I remember having maybe 10, 12 cars sat in the compound for our fleet department in VW in the UK. They'd been spec'd without cruise control, and the fleet company wouldn't take them.
There you go.
Because the drivers that were driving them were using them on the motorway.
Yeah.
They wanted cruise control.
I get that. Yeah.
So it's kind of 2022's cruise control now, lane assist, and it's been around.
Yeah.
Very, very well put together, being around for 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
It's around a lot longer than that. It didn't always work. Well,
The things we need now, we've got lane assist, backup cameras. I think even the lowest spec car these days has a backup camera in it.
yeah, because it's literally just a lens and a couple of wires. Because there's almost all you've got things like Nissan Sunnies and things like that are always going to be bog standard aimed at rental companies sort of thing. But almost all cars now are coming with a screen, touch screen,
So it's
and
easy.
Apple or Android Connect. So
Simple. He had a complaint. He did have one complaint. He didn't. The other thing that he was just over the roof with gas mileage. He's saying that
ridiculous economy.
I know. I'm looking at this and I'm going, and he's figuring it's so he hasn't looked under the hood to give me the specs of the vehicle, but he's figuring it's a pretty zippy car. He says I think it's got a turbo in it.
Really 2-litre turbo.
Yeah, and he said this thing is getting ridiculous gas mileage. And I thought it's not a hybrid. It's just well-tuned, well-designed engine.
It's just, and it is operating in a perfect climate as well.
Yeah. And so he's laughing. He's saying he says, I still got 700 kilometers left on the tank.
It's got nearly 1,000 out of it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And the other thing is with it, it's a massive car, really.
Yeah.
So it's a huge car,
Yeah.
Passat, and they've got a big tank. They're quite light for the size, relative to the size. And, if you can get 1,000 kilometers out of a tank of fuel,
That's pretty
happy
nice.
days.
Yeah. So he's really happy with that. He did have a complaint, and I thought, okay, the mirrors. And he says, and of course he used the technical term because he said the mirrors are a little small. He's one of those convexy thingies in the corner. I love that. I loved his mechanic technical term, but he's.
Does Joe just like them because they're shiny? Joey, do you just like those convex extra mirrors because they're shiny? I mean, I imagine him having like an old Vespa or his old scooter with like 400 mirrors on it.
So I don't know if that's a North American thing, actually, because when I was back in Canada and the US in the summer, pretty much every rental we had industry, factory installed wide angle mirror pieces, convex mirror.
I really can't get on with them.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's American. And again, to me, it's just like, are you doing a shoulder check? Like it's you look in the mirror and then you give it a little shoulder check and away you go.
Just like Joey's just said, it's not even holding the wheel because it's got lane assist on. Set the cruise, listening to stereo.
It's got Kim Mitchell playing.
She's not moving.
Patio
He's in the
lantern.
back seat at some point.
I'm looking forward to when it gets a little bit cooler, and then he warms up his lunch on the dash. So then he gives us a review of the window defogger and the heat that it can generate.
It won't be long.
Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting one, and I'm curious, and I'll have to send him a note. Do the mirrors also work? Are they synced with the high beam, whatever we call it, the high beam light reflectors.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell from the picture whether it had the chromatic.
No, chromatic. That's what we're called. There we go. See, that's the mechanic.
But they
I know I'm sure
the rear view will be electronic. I'm sure.
And it's the vehicles when you've got the driver's side and the passenger side mirrors. The vehicles that don't have chromatic effect on those, it's like, why have you done it for my rear view mirror? And then I've got a whole issue of getting blinded.
Those mirror glasses are expensive.
Yeah.
Super expensive. You know, we've never ever had a customer that I can think of that's had one that, because they tend to bleed and then they'll go brown or they'll be permanently blue. So, but we've never replaced one like for like because it's 1,500 dirhams.
So no one wants to spend that.
Yeah, so most people don't spend them.
Yeah.
But they're very, very good when they work. And again, when you've had one in your car that works, it's very hard to go back.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially those sort of trips that Joey's doing clearly in the dark at night.
Yeah.
You're going to get somebody raining up behind you and the lights are going to be on then. It's noticeable.
Yeah.
And especially when you're not concentrating on the road because you've got lane assist on.
Yeah.
People looking around.
He's probably,
it's noticeable. Might wake you up from your snooze.
He's reading the Toronto Sun.
Yeah.
Looking at the Sunshine Girl there on page 2.
You get page 2 there.
Yeah. So otherwise he likes the car. He said, yeah, I'll give you a more comprehensive review. But his initial review is, this is